Hello, Cancers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, just getting settled in here. As most of you guys know, I had a knee replacement surgery, so I'm trying to get settled in here to be able to do this reading for you guys and not be in so much pain. So for those of you that are brand new, thank you for popping in and checking out my website, oh my gosh, I've been working on my website, sorry, my YouTube channel. And if you like, please like, share, subscribe, and hopefully something will resonate with you, or maybe you know somebody that it may resonate, just share with them. But my tarot is a little different. So being intuitive, I do ask for the divine and get wisdom and knowledge from the unseen, which I call divine, God, Allah, whatever you want to call. And then I do mix astrology and numerology with it because it's really important to gather all the energies. And we've got a full moon, guys. We've got a full moon happening. So if you're watching this on the 27th, when I'm recording it, it will be on the 28th, our full moon on the 28th, about 2:05. And if you're watching it after, these energies will last until about April 4th, somewhere around there. And I'll share more about that as we go. Some of you that have watched me, yes, I do full moon and new moon readings. Will I be doing a full moon reading? Yes, I will be doing one. However, I am not going to post it quite yet. What time? I'm going to tell you it'll be between 10 and 11 because it depends on my knee. So if you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and then you'll be notified when I come on live for that full moon reading. All right. I apologize. It's a touch and go with this. Sometimes I can really pump out the readings, and then other times I got to rest in between them. So but let's get started because that's what you guys are here for. So I think, let's see, the full moon's the only thing that we have to look at as far as the energies. And then for those of you that are brand new, I'm going to pull 3 oracles. The first oracle is the divines, and these are usually energies he wants you to focus in on, things that we need to maybe work on, a lesson or something, that a message he has to share with you. So that's the first oracle. The second oracle is the current energies between the 29th and the 4th. Can you believe it? We're in April already, you guys. We're in spring equinox. I cannot believe that, but that's for the current energies. And then the third card is for future energies. Now, most of you guys that have watched me, I'll say the future energy is usually for the weekend and the next week. However, that's not what the divine is saying. These are going to be energies for about 2 months, 2 to 3 months. So this is something that you really want to pay attention to. Some people write these down because these are things that we want to focus in on. And if not, then just have some fun with it. All right. So our first card out is actually the Divine's card, and that is Novice, which I totally get because the Novice is about doing and learning something new. So a skill set that's really sort of uncomfortable because that is the number 5. Okay, so when we are a novice, things are uncomfortable, things are awkward. Whether we're learning a new skill, we're learning new knowledge in something, it doesn't matter. It's just we're sort of like a fish out of water. We're just uncomfortable. So this is something he's wanting us to focus on, that whatever is coming your way, Cancers, whatever you are doing, if you feel like a little uncomfortable, like out of the box kind of a thing, that's okay. Now, you're supposed to feel that way. But, you know, this is sort of a good nervous energy. Think positive about it because you're going to be growing from it. There's a lesson in this. This is a beautiful thing. It's also a time of innocence. All right. It's a time of being innocent. So as we're new, definitely innocence is something that, because we don't know, we don't have the knowledge yet, right? So we're sort of innocent. We have no clue. It's like new babies, you know, they have no clue and everything is new and learning. So whatever it is for you this week, definitely you're going to be new about something, feeling a little fish out of water, feeling a little uncomfortable, and that's okay. All right. So the current energy for the week, though, is the water fairy. and that is about feelings and emotions. Okay, so the water fairy is about feelings, emotions. This is the 28th, or excuse me, 29th through the 4th. It is the number 10. So we have things finishing and then we have things starting. I'll get into the full moon energies also with this, because when this shows up, when the water fairy shows up, it is about, are you controlling your emotions and feelings, or are the feelings controlling you? Are the emotions controlling you? So do you let your emotions and feelings get out of hand? You sort of like a baby. They get all upset when they don't get what they want and they throw a tantrum. They're letting their feelings and their emotions control them. So they haven't learned how to control, because mama always gives them, if they throw a tantrum, they always get what they want. Then they've already learned something new, how to manipulate, unfortunately. And some parents say, nope, even if you throw a tantrum, you're not going to get it. So that goes for a different story. Okay, so for the future energy, we have the cat. Okay, so now this future energy, remember, it's not just for this weekend or the next week. This is for the next couple of months. So the cat is very, very independent and also has healthy boundaries. Sometimes the cat has too much independence and too many healthy boundaries, but it is also very intent on why it does what it does and the reasons that it does it. Does that make sense? Because it's the number 9. So the number 9 is about intensity. Number 9 is about how focused they are to making sure that those boundaries are met and those standards are met. These are going to go play hand in hand together, because for somebody, this is a new way of doing it. Somebody doesn't know how to control their emotions, their feelings, that kind of thing. They say, well, I just wear them on my shirt sleeve. Well, that's okay to a point, but you've got to be able to know when to share them, when not to share them, when to bring them in, when to tell them, when not to tell them. Okay, that is what the cat is about, healthy boundaries. So we're talking about healthy boundaries and independence, because the planets are also talking about this. The moon is also talking about this. And this is something that we want to do. Here's the thing. The moon and the planets are definitely talking about balance. Okay. So there has to be a balance. And so this is going to be self-control. So if you're taking notes, that's a huge key word for you, self-control, because this is, again, a new thing for somebody. It's sort of like when I'm coaching, doing life balance coaching, it is about, anger management. So when we get really angry, how we deal with that yes, I'll get angry a little bit, but I hone it in. It's like, then I ask myself internally, why am I angry? Where did that come from? Is it from a foundation? Is it from something else? The other thing too is, do I let that anger boil over into words? Now the planets are talking about, be mindful of your words. Be mindful of your words. This is huge with the full moon. It's in Libra, and the Libra is about relationships. It's about balance again. So we are talking about being mindful when to share those words and when not to share those words. Pay attention, analyze. The Hermit is your first card out, and it is analyzing, watching everything before any actions or before any words come out. So he's looking and he's painted. Now Virgo energy, Virgos, they're going to hone in. They're like, okay, I'm looking at this. I'm going to dot my T's, cross my I's, and all that kind of stuff. But the other thing too is he's watching and seeing how people react. I don't know how many people out there are people watchers. I love to watch people, because you can read so much from watching people. As an empath, I can sit there with you for less than 5 minutes and read a lot about you. Not only about you and your body language, but your energies as well. It's amazing to watch people. And you can see very quickly who is in control of their emotions and their feelings and who isn't. Who is more independent, who wears the pants in the family. If you see a couple, it's fun to watch and sort of just sit back and see how people are. This is something that you actually want to do not now for yourself. We're in spring. We're in spring equinox. We have made the soil and planted the seed. Well, probably in April we'll plant the seed, but we've been preparing our soil. We've been preparing our garden. We got the fence up. We got the nutrients in the soil. We've tilled the soil. We've made sure the soil is healthy and good. We've made sure that the weeds are out, the toxicity, those people, those bad habits are out. Those are things that are going to help us maintain a very healthy, balanced lifestyle. But it's a new garden. This isn't last year's garden. This isn't the year before's garden. This is a new garden. So whatever you're going to plant, make sure that you are ready to plant whatever it is and ready to take care of it. So if you're starting to plant, say, hey, you know what? I'm going to plant the seed of, I'm going to, try not to get angry so easy. I don't know who this is for, but don't get angry so easy. If you do, recognize it, hone it in, and ask yourself, why am I getting angry? Because a lot of the times we get angry, we're not looking at the perspective of the other person. Now, I had this in somebody else made some comments. Gentleman made some comments, and it was in another sign. We were talking about this exact thing. Is somebody's other perspective. You may not agree with it, but at least you will have clarity and understand it so that you can actually control your feelings even better. Okay, that meaning that if you don't agree with them on something, you ask them, why do you think that way? Why would you think that way? And they will give you their truth and their way of thinking, and you can then sit there and decide whether you want to agree with them or not, or say, oh wow, I really didn't look at it that way. And you can also, for those that are toxic people, then you can say, you know what, that's a good way of thinking for you. That's great. That's your life, your journey. You go your way, I go my way, we're fine. Because as I was telling this young man, I believe it was a young man, that, you don't want toxic in your life. You definitely don't. You really don't. Because it hinders you. It holds you back. You don't get your rewards. Your progress gets stifled and all that kind of stuff. All right. For someone out there, definitely looking at the past is way too frequent. Somebody's looking at the past way too frequently. This really needs to change, because there's been some arguing or fighting with someone. I don't know who it is, but there's some arguing and fighting, and I really hope it's not abusive, but there is an arrogance for one of the sides, more pride. So one of the sides is going to not ever say that they were wrong. They're never going to apologize. This is a pride. This is an ego issue that is really just turning your life completely upside down. And you're sick and tired of always having to stand up for your boundaries. It's like you're having to stand up all the time for what you believe in and the way that you think. It gets old, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. And then this person who gets angry a lot doesn't seem to know how to control their feelings or the emotions. It's almost like a power trip. It's like they have to be power over. It's like, when I was sexually abused as a child, that is power over somebody. That is a thought process, a completely broken thought process that no, they can't control their they can. They choose not to control their feelings and their emotions. There's no healthy boundaries at all. They don't care about what somebody thinks, that their pride and their ego is more important than anybody else. They don't care. I got a gnat, sorry, somewhere flying around. They don't care how much it upsets somebody's world or turns it around or affects them the rest of their life. They just know that what they want to stand up for is what they want, and that's the way it is. Any kind of sexual abuse or sexual overpowering or domestic overpowering, that is the brokenness in that person. And they've got a lot of issues to clean up. Yeah. So when we begin to really control our feelings and our emotions, this is a new process for somebody, but it is extremely rewarding. This is going to be new, but it is really going to bring you a lot more freedom than you think. Okay, so when you begin to learn to control your feelings and your emotions and not let them take over, because when the feelings and emotions take over, that is low vibrational. That is saying, okay, yeah, ha, ha, ha. I can get you all angry, upset. I can get you crying, and I can get you manipulating every situation through just acting and feeling and that kind of a thing. I can do that because I'm low vibrational. But if you flip it and you control that, that is very high vibrational. That actually brings a lot more power and a lot more control into your life. And that's what you need as far as if you want freedom. Because then it stops all the fighting. It stops all the arguing. I haven't had an argument, I don't know in how many years. I haven't fought with anybody in I don't know how many years. Because I try to figure out their perspective first. And then, okay, well, I don't agree with that, but that's okay. You do your thing, I do my thing. And I move on. Either I have that choice to move on, or I can hang around, right? So that's the important thing, is that it brings you freedom. With the sun is all about happiness, joy, light energy. And that's why he's naked, is because he's a child. He's like a child, like, I have nothing to hide. Why do I have to be ashamed? Why do I need to be ashamed? There's nothing to hide. It's a very, very high vibrational energy. It's an awesome feeling. It is a very awesome feeling. Yeah. Somebody's really going through something. So we have the Nine of Swords. There's a lot of fighting going on. All right, Cancers, who is this? There's a lot of fighting going on. Here's the thing. Release it to divine. If you're not sleeping at night, or if you're struggling, if somebody's having panic attacks, anxiety attacks, this is something that you just need to release to divine. Release it. And he's going to show you. This is going to be something new for somebody, to release this to divine. Huge. And they're like, well, how do I do that? You just say, you know what? I can't do this alone. You take it. Jesus, take the wheel. That song sort of has a thing, because you know what? When I go through a storm, I'll tell you a little secret. Don't share this with anybody really, but I'll share it with you guys. When I go through a storm, I literally feel myself sitting on the back of a boat, and I see an energy in the front of the boat, and I see that energy steering and at the helm, and everything becomes calm. Is it at the helm or the stern? The front of the boat. Anyway, they're up there. I'm sitting back. I'm holding on. But you know what? They're just all free, and it's like, you know what? And things just calm down. And it's like, I don't have any... I used to have panic attacks. I don't have any panic attacks anymore. I don't have anxiety attacks. I don't have any of that, because I know that I'm not in control, and I know that everything's going to be fine, because I've witnessed this for so many years. It's never failed me. Never failed me. So for you, this is going to be definitely something is really, really somebody's really going through a storm, a challenge. Again, there is a little bit of light. There is a little bit of hope there. You got to hang on to that. And you also have to begin to build or rebuild your healthy boundaries and standards. Thank you. So they want me to remind whoever this is for, that, a lot of times people will lose themselves in another person. And the thing is that you don't lower yourself. So if you have high standards and morals and values and things like that, integrity, you're always honest, you tell the truth, you love people, you take care of people, and then you're with somebody that maybe isn't that high up, and then you begin to lower yourself to them. No, it goes the other way. If they don't come up to meet you and grow their standards and their morals and their integrity to a higher level, then it's time to actually maybe reanalyze if that's the person that you should be with, because that is, again, a pride issue. All right. And that will actually bring you completely down. Hey, Anne, welcome from New Zealand. Wow, welcome. And very single. Sometimes that's a good thing, hon. That is a good thing. So we want to be strong in our singleness before we actually go into any relationship. And that's where, being independent, having healthy standards, healthy boundaries, things like that are really, really important. And the divine sure is talking. Because we have the Hierophant. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Hierophant is actually the card of the year. So this is a very spiritual awakening year for a lot of people. Again, this might be the new novice part of somebody. But the Hierophant is teaching. So it is teaching. It's also got maybe a good student, a bad student. Maybe somebody wants to take on that information and somebody doesn't. But again, this is a spiritual growth, and that's why standards and boundaries are second dimensional. They're two dimensional, and that's what the divine wants you to know, is that the two dimensional is more important than the first dimension. First dimension is earth, things that you can see, touch, possess, that kind of a thing. Whereas second dimensional is love, truth, honesty, integrity. That's the things that you cannot touch. That is the things that are most important. But the problem is a lot of us think here rather than here. And this spirit, our intuition, is divine. And here, where we think first, is earth. So we don't want to think from our head first. We really don't want to think from our head first, because if we think from our spirit first, where we get our healthy boundaries from, then you will actually know things before they actually happen, or when they do happen, you'll know which is right and wrong way to go, or who to be with or not to be with. All right. Oh, all right. Cool. American Cup. Awesome. Be friendly. Just be yourself, and just be yourself. Because if you're just yourself, then that's actually who you are. If they don't like you, then that's not that's not the end of the world, because we're not here for everybody. But yeah. Oh wow, cool. We're just into spring here. I'm in Oregon, on the west coast in Oregon, so in the United States. So we're just getting into spring here. That's cool. My daughter and I want to come to New Zealand and see it. I see it's so beautiful. But you guys aren't open up yet for travel, so hopefully sometime soon. Hopefully sometime soon. For here also too, somebody is definitely earth thought process, because when we look at the number four, four is about stability. It is also about balance, getting an even balance, getting some solid balance, and stability. However, with the Four of Cups, somebody is really, really thinking, again, we're back to this thing, and they're more earthbound. They're missing out on the beautiful, beautiful things that life has to offer, because of the way your thinking process is. All right. So we have to turn this around. This is your tower. This is a tower moment. Yes, this is a tower moment. So this is a time. So if you're depressed, if you're anxiety, if you're having problems, if you're in a lot of fights, if you're in a lot of arguments, I see this here. Somebody definitely is very earth mind thinking, more thought process in the earth rather than spiritual. Somebody is more, and this is a really hard balance. This is full moon energies right now. It is very hard to balance because the full moon in Libra is about relationships. However, it's a very gentle full moon, but it is also about balance. And the problem we're having with balance with this full moon is because we have desires versus our values, our morals, our integrity. So we sort of have earth versus spirit. So it's like playing a juggling match. You're going to put something heavy up here and it's going to begin to come down here, and you're going to take something off here and it's going to go here, and it's like you're in a juggling match. And so it's really, really hard. We want to have that balance. So we need to have some earth, some spirit, but most of it has to be spirit in order to move the vibrations. Sorry, I got a hair tickling my hands. Move the vibrations up. All right, let's see what else cancers they have for you. Somebody it's time to really take hold of your feelings, emotions, time to set boundaries. This is a lot for somebody. Let me tell you, this is a lot of work. You guys need to have a little notepad and say, okay, these are the boundaries I need to set. These are the boundaries I need to stay. Here's the boundaries I don't have, the pros and cons kind of a thing. And then, do I control my feelings? Do I let my feelings control me? And then what you want to do with that is say, next time you go out and you feel like you're getting angry, hone it in and say, what am I getting angry about? Why am I getting angry? Do I need more clarity? Do I need to ask a question? Maybe I'm misunderstanding, or maybe I don't remember correctly, those kind of things. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Earth reminds me of mud and pottery, dirt being useful. It is useful, but we don't want to stay there 100%. There has to be a balance. Definitely has to be a balance. Yeah. So, and the way to do this process is start thinking the healthy boundaries, start thinking, no, I can do this, I can ask. Then this is what's going to be great about this. Once you begin to set your feelings and emotions in motion to really start having control of that, you're going to see your life and your changes in your life turn a 180, because you're not going to be picking the wrong mate anymore, because now you're going to say, and here's the thing with dating, it's an interview process. People say, well, like, you're interviewing me. Yes, I am, because I'm not here to waste time. I'm not here to waste your time. I'm not here to waste my time. And if your intent is a booty call and my intent is to get married, we're not going to match. So I'm not going to waste that time, that kind of a thing. And it is an important time to actually interview somebody for a future mate, kind of a thing. Mate, partner, whatever you want to call it. So this is really, really huge. Yeah, this is for your future. I can't make this up. So the 3 of Wands for your future. You are thinking about your future. We're planting the seeds now. Make sure you're planting healthy seeds. Make sure you're planting seeds that aren't going to be dead in the sand and not grow. Make sure that those seeds are ready to germinate and grow into a beautiful plant, flower, bloom, whatever you like, whatever vegetable you want to be, whatever flower you want to be. Fruit. I'm a fruit cake. Just joking. All right. I'm sweating before I can download the app for dating. I honestly don't know how people can get excited about dating. I find it very, very scary. You know what, Anne, in this day and age, yes. There's, some people out there don't know that I have a criminal justice background, and my background is in scams, in romance scams, K1 visa scams, dating scams, that kind of a thing. And it is scary. It is really scary. That's why the interview process is even more so, and you have to listen to your intuition. You have to listen into your you have to listen into your intuition, and you have to be really, really um, unbiased to listen to the red flags. Because if that little red flag pops up and you think it's not a big deal right now and it becomes a big deal later, you've wasted a lot of time. Yeah, it is very scary for both men and women, because people, especially older, they've been lied to, they've been cheated on, they've been betrayed, and that kind of thing. And that's why the Hermit is here, the first card out. You got to ask questions. You got to pay attention. You got to put your feelings and your emotions aside and get the facts. And that's the thing about feelings and emotions. Get the facts. Don't go by what you feel, what you think, but you get the facts. And that will grow you some healthy boundaries. Some healthy boundaries. That's going to be new for somebody. Somebody definitely knew how to do that. Okay, let's see what we've got for these final cards here. So we have the Eight of Cups, the Ace of Wands, and the Page of Swords. Oh my gosh. Eight of Cups. The Ace of Wands. There's a message coming for somebody. And the Page of Swords. So again, this is going to be, we've got the Ace of Wands and Page of Swords. So there is message coming here. This is about your heart. This is about something for your future. However, if you don't have your foundation solid, if you don't have a healthy start, if you don't have your boundaries set, you're going to miss it. So, or you're going to fall into something that is manipulating you to do something you don't want to do, or you're thinking, oh yeah, this person's really, really good. Find out in a month that they're a complete jerk. Could be a girl, could be a guy. Either way, there's some jerky girls out there. So really, this is a time for you guys. Again, this cat energy is for a couple of months. This is about your garden, making sure that you can actually cultivate and feed and water and pick the toxic weeds out, the people out, the toxic habits out, the thinking in the past out. This is a time to really hone in on that and also begin control of your feelings and your emotions and get the facts. That's huge. All right. That is really, really huge. It's an unnatural process when you're raised old school. Yes, I know it is. I'm old school. I know. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. Sometimes our foundation is set in concrete and it's been set incorrectly. So sometimes, it's sort of like, I don't want to open a can of worms, but it's like our foundation here in the United States is we're taught in school all this history, and then we find out that the history's been a lie. And so we have a new foundation that we've got to learn and grow from. So sometimes the foundation, depending on where you are at, and with Cancer is very emotional, a little moody, kind of a thing. But if you set your standards and your healthy boundaries, that would be a very strong, healthy foundation, as long as it's your foundation and it's foundation based on absolute truth, not just earthly truth, and then also love. So then you conquer fear, because if you make all your decisions out of love, you conquer fear. A lot of people make decisions out of fear rather than love. There's only two ways we make decisions, either love or fear. So when you face fear, you conquer it, and then all you do is base on love. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. And this full moon is about paradigms of the relationships that are coming in. And this full moon is about relationships and kindness. And that doesn't relationships can be your friendships, could be, co-workers, it could be your family members, it could be anything like that. Yeah. Well, and the thing is, you got to just let it happen. But Don't try to be friends. Don't try to do that. Just be yourself. And you know what? Then the divine brings in the friends that are supposed to be there for you, that you can have those healthy boundaries, that you can be yourself in. And that's really, really huge. And that, again, then you can be yourself. Your emotions, your feelings, you can be yourself. It took me 50 some years to actually come out with all my gifts and things. And now I can literally be myself. And there's some of the people left, and that's fine. But you know what? This is who I've always been since a child. And after 50 years, it was tired of being bound to the devil and the earth kind of a thing. And now I have freedom. All right. All right. Yeah, love is huge. You make your decisions on love and based in truth. And as I tell everybody, absolute truth is divine truth. It is not truth. Right there is like I talk about the compass. You have true north and then you have north. If you take the compass and you go true, if you go north, you might be off somewhere and get lost. Whereas if you follow true north, then you're actually going to be on the target mark all the same. And that's the same with absolute truth, divine truth, and then you have truth, earth truth. I don't go by earth truth. I used to, and it really messed my head up. So, yeah. Yeah, it is hard work. It is very, very hard work. But you know what? Once you do that hard work, then you know for a fact, and then it becomes easy. It becomes easy. But getting releasing from that devil, you've got to have that willingness and wanting to. Very, very much so. You've got to have that willingness. And a lot of people don't want that because it's an uncomfortable feeling as a novice to come out of that. So, all right, you guys, Cancers, this has been your reading. Whatever you're going through, you've got to face it. You've got to set your healthy boundaries. You have to become independent in who you are and not who somebody else wants you to be. And most of all, get in control of your feelings and your emotions. Go by the facts, rein it in, analyze why you're angry, why you're feeling what you're feeling, even if it's depression and anxiety and hurt. Go back, because there is a foundation where that comes from, and that needs to be brought up so that you can heal and then be able to control your feelings and your emotions. All right. So don't forget, though, there will be a full moon reading tomorrow between 10 and 11. And like I said, I don't know exactly what time just because of my leg. I want to make sure I ice my leg beforehand. For those that don't know, I just had knee replacement surgery. So just hit the subscribe and the bell and you'll be notified when I am on. Otherwise, my readings are weekly. They're live, and like Anne has been popping in and saying, you can ask questions, interact, just tell me where you're from, that kind of thing. This is why I do it, because I think it's important to help people live if they have some things that they need to work with. So with that said, don't forget to like, because that helps us YouTube creators get our videos sent out with the YouTube land to be seen more. So don't forget to like as well. Oh, well, thank you very much, Anne. That's very, very sweet. I appreciate that. Oh, you're always welcome. Pop in anytime. All right. Pop in anytime. Would love you to see you again. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a great week, and we will see you on the 5th. All right. Take care.